Hey, Farmin Carmen here, and it's been almost 1 week since we put all of our seeds into our seed starting mixes and peat pellets, and here is what's happened inside underneath the light part of the experiment we did. Over here we've got the peat pellets, and looks like the beans are pretty happy, although I don't know what happened there. That's weird. The peppers are a little slow, but they come out a little bit later anyway. And the tomatoes seem to be pretty happy. They started sprouting maybe 3 or 4 days after we planted them. Over here in the seed starting mix, this bean decided to just shoot up like a star. The other bean is just starting to do that now. The peppers here just started. There's one, and there's a tiny little thing down there. And the tomatoes, whoops, looks like I got 2 seeds in that one, but that's okay. I'll figure that one out later. Tomatoes seem to be happy as well. So underneath the grow light, it doesn't seem to matter whether we used the peat pellets or the seed starting mix. Everything seems to be pretty happy. All the other stuff that you see is other stuff that I'm going to put in my own garden later. We'll get to that. All right, so let's go and see what happened in the window. Okay, let's see what's happening at the window. Over here, we had our peat pellets, and it looks like everybody here is just as happy. They're reaching a little bit for the sunlight by curling over and putting their leaves towards it, but our tomatoes are good. The peppers have just started, and one of my little beans doesn't seem to be sprouting. Oh no, maybe a little bit. Okay, I'll wait for that guy. But this guy sprouted a lot like the star did over in the other side. Over here in our seed starting mix, same idea. We've got our tomatoes that came up pretty quickly. The peppers are just starting. I got one bean that likes it very much and one bean that hasn't done anything at all. Now, when it doesn't do anything at all, it might not be the soil's fault and it might not be the sun's fault. It might just be the seed decided not to do anything. So if it doesn't do anything in the next couple of days, I'm going to just stick another seed in there. I just wanted to explain that all of these things had a lid on it to make a little greenhouse. But they grew so quickly, I took the lids right off as soon as they started hitting the top of the lid. And if you are going to start something with a greenhouse, you don't have to go and buy this. You can always stick a piece of clear Tupperware or something like that over top of whatever you already have going. Or you can use like rotisserie chicken containers with a clear top and stick some holes into the bottom. Or you could use any other takeout container that's got a clear top. And that way you have a greenhouse and it doesn't cost you a lot of money and you probably had a good meal. Okay, now these guys have gotten a little bit too dry. It's been nearly a week, and I took the top off when this thing grew up really tall. So the moisture that was trapped inside has managed to escape. So I'm going to give these guys a water, just enough so that they're really nice and moist without them floating. And then I'll grab a piece of paper and then we're going to plan what I'm going to put in the garden and talk to you about some of the stuff that does really well when they're next to each other and some of the stuff that doesn't. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day. Now, it's been a few days since I showed you the seedlings inside the house, but today is so nice. I'm coming outside to see if I can do some work in the farm bin. See how much I've already cleaned up? It's looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because we planted a whole lot of stuff out there and I don't think I'm going to have enough room. And because I was thinking about how big the farm bin is, I decided I would draw myself a map and decide where I was going to put everything, taking into consideration which way the sun shines and what kind of plants like to have certain kinds of sunlight. So here is my map. There's my whole backyard and there's the farm den. So first of all, I was thinking about the tomatoes, and the tomatoes are going to grow pretty tall. So they're going to have to be towards the back over here. And because they are tall, then the sun will be able to see them. In front of them, I'm going to put the peppers. Because peppers, they don't grow quite so tall. See? So I'm going to have tomatoes in there and peppers down in there. Yeah? And that way, it makes make believe that the whole farm den is a stage. And the sunlight is the audience. And you want to have it so that the sunlight can see everything, so you have all your different levels, right? So you put the tall things and the climbing things in the back and the shorter things in the front. Now tomatoes and peppers both like to have a whole lot of sun, so I'm totally going to put them right in a place that gets sun for most of the day. Let me show you what else I'm going to do. Now, because there are some plants that do really, really well by starting them early inside, and other plants that prefer to be put right into the ground, I had to sort of take that into consideration as well. Now we planted beans inside, and beans that I have are the bush beans, so they're not going to climb up on anything. But if you got the climbing beans, just remember that. So I'm going to put my beans on this side of the garden. I'm going to dig all of this out so it's all one big thing. And the beans are going to be in the front over here, and in behind them I'm going to put peas that climb up the trellis and climb up the fence a little bit, so that when the sun is on them, they can all get a little bit of sun, the same way as an audience would be able to see on stage, right? The other thing that I planted inside were cucumbers. We didn't do it together, I did it after. I was thinking, I like cucumbers, I want some, so I did it. Cucumbers are going to climb as well, and in front of them I'm going to try to grow some carrots for the first time. I tried a little bit a couple of years ago and it didn't work. I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to dig all this area out, and I'm going to try carrots because they like a lot of sun. But cucumbers, they like just a little bit less sun. Beans like just a little bit less sun. Peas like just a little bit less sun. So as you can see right now, it's just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's already just starting to get shady here. So it had all of the sun from the morning, and now it's only going to have a bit of sun for the afternoon, and they seem to be much happier about that kind of thing. You know what doesn't like sun? Lettuce. Lettuce doesn't like lots and lots and lots of hot, hot sun. So you got to find a place to put lettuce that's got a little bit of shade for a lot of the day. So I decided I'm going to put my lettuce right down here, way down. I'm going to go way down over here. I'm going to put lettuce down the side of the house, because the house on this side and my neighbor's house, they all create shade. So the lettuce will have they'll have some sun in the middle of the day, and then they'll be pretty happy about only having that much. And hopefully I'll get a lot of lettuce. Salad is good. Something else that I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting some of these things that we've already started growing into pots on the back porch. So that way I can see what would work and what might not work. So I'm going to put some pots over there on the sunny side of my porch, and put a tomato and a pepper and a, what else did we do? Tomatoes and peppers and beans. And we're going to put them in a pot over there, and I'll keep them really well watered because a pot needs to be watered more often. The other thing I'm going to try is I'm going to try growing some squash along the fence down there. Squashes need lots of room, so I'm going to give them a lot of space, and I'm going to try for the first time a watermelon. Never tried a watermelon before. I'm going to try that on the opposite side over there, so that it's going to climb that piece of, well, it's an old gazebo, but I use it now as a trellis because the rest of the gazebo broke. And so we'll see what happens, because things are a little bit more wet over there, and I understand that watermelons, well, they're really juicy, so I guess they use a lot of water. So okay, I got some work to do. I'm going to put my map down and I'm going to get to work. I hope your farm din is coming along great too. Bye!